Hi, everyone. Hope you all are healthy, happy, and virus free. And on that peppy note, welcome to another episode of MMT Returnship. Yes, we have returned to talk to another Go MMTN who has returned to us, Kaveri Misra, Vice President, Performance Marketing and Marketing for GCC. Hi, Kaveri. Welcome to this episode.
Hi, Juhi.
For the uninitiated, Kaveri joined us in August 2021 to head performance marketing and category for flights and is also leading the marketing piece for MMT GCC. This is Kaveri's second stint at go-mmt. In her previous role here, she led marketing for the app, analytics, and personalization initiatives. She's had an eventful career spanning 15 years. To open this chat, I request her to give us a sneak peek into her professional journey and also tell us a little bit about herself.
Thanks, Juhi. Lovely to be here. Like many of Go trippers, I started out being an engineer and started my career working in a consulting company, which is primarily analytics-driven consulting. Did that for about 8 years. Got my MBA in between from ISB. And in 2017, I was really bored of giving recommendations to customers, and I basically wanted to move on to the execution side. And that is when I moved to Make My Trip to set up analytics, personalization, as well as lead app marketing. Worked here for about 3 years. I left right around the time when we acquired go-ibibo at that time, 2017. And I moved because I was shifting cities then, and worked in digital transformation consulting for about 4.5 years after that, primarily advising CXOs on what the digital transformation journey should look like. And in 2021, I decided to return back to Make My Trip to head category and performance marketing for flights and marketing for our GCC business. And it's been an exciting journey so far in the first 6 months. On the personal front, like you, Juhi, I'm a fitness fanatic, so I love going for my long runs in the morning. And I'm an avid reader, so I read on a variety of topics. And before the pandemic, of course, I loved to travel, had a personal goal of doing 40 countries before I turned 40. That goal is obviously not going very well at this point in time, but that's a little about me.
That's okay. We can write off the last 2 years. So tell us, what brought a smile on your face while you were working with Adobe and thought about go-mmt? I'm making a liberal assumption here, of course, that you thought about us all the time. Okay, sometimes at least.
Absolutely, Juhi. I think 2 things come to mind. The first is, like I was telling you, I was advising CXOs on digital transformation. And usually as an outsider, people have a little bit of skepticism in terms of what the other person has to say, especially, if you've not done execution before. So I think given my Make My Trip experience and the respect that Make My Trip has as an organization in India, I think those meetings went very well for me. So because of my association with Make My Trip, I got a lot of respect from CXOs. Everybody basically listened up in terms of what they could learn from, Make My Trip experience and how the seamless customer experience works in case of Make My Trip, right? Every single meeting that I went to, I got asked, okay, tell us how Make My Trip does this so well and what can we learn, right? So I think that always brought a smile to my face. The respect that MMT has as an organization. The second thing was quite funny. Like every time somebody outside Make My Trip calls Make My Trip MMT, it brings a smile to my face, and it's very common. Everybody actually refers to Make My Trip as MMT. So I think those are 2 things that come to mind.
Interesting. I thought only people inside called MMT. But yeah, lovely to hear. So what really attracted you back to go-mmt, Kaveri?
Few things, Juhi. I think one is basically the mentorship that I got even when I was outside MMT, right? So the relationships that I built, I think those lasted beyond the working day-to-day working relationship, right? And I think that made a large impact when I had to think about coming back, I was comfortable because I was already getting a lot of advice on how to navigate my career. What should I think about next in terms of building skill sets? What type of roles would make sense? So it almost felt like, I was here in some sense because I was in touch with mentors. The second thing was obviously that the thing that I missed a lot was the day-to-day challenges, right? So in a consulting org, it's very different, right? So it's not like you do something today and end of day you kind of get to see the results. And I kind of miss that, right? So every day pretty much we are solving either a new problem or an old problem in a more innovative way. And by the end of the day, you get to see the impact of what you have done. And I really miss that execution focus in my consulting stints. And, that was the second reason to kind of come back.
So I get that you were really missing the execution, and that's execution is equal to challenge, right? So philosophical question alert. How important is challenge for keeping you motivated? And how do you create those relevant challenges for yourself and your team here? Of course, there are no dearth of challenges in MMT, and yet, to keep yourself charged is very, very important. How do you do that?
Yeah, Juhi, I think it is very important to have that right balance of challenge and results, right? So at one end, we can basically throw a lot of problems which are completely not solvable, right? So if we keep pushing the team to solve for things which are completely impossible, then obviously it's demotivating. At the same time, if we throw problems at people which they have solved yesterday, then it is quite boring. So how do you find that balance of challenging enough work as well as something that people can actually solve for? I think that's the key, right? So I think, like you said, it is inherently because of the nature of our business and specifically the travel situation right now. The problems are quite challenging and dynamic, and I think we can basically safely say that people are not bored here because there is something new to solve for every day. So even if you have solved a problem before, like how do you do it in a more efficient manner? And like I said, at the end of the day, if you're able to see the impact that you could create because of solving for a particular challenge, I think that essentially gets people going. So I think we constantly focus on essentially balancing out type of problems our team members are solving for, by giving the right mix of challenges as well as operational problems.
Got that. So you've already clocked in about 6 months, Kaveri, already in your second innings. What are your early feelings about your decision to have come back? Tricky question.
I'm recording this video, Juhi. Well, jokes apart, I think a returnship has been exactly what I expected it to be. Obviously shifting from consulting to execution meant that the pace that I had to get used to was different, even though I was here before. I did expect, some time that I would take personally to adjust into the new pace of working. And I think the first 3 months, I basically focused on getting the basics right. So, parts of businesses that I did not know before, I went into details, understood pretty much how things run. Spent time hiring because that's one of the key levers to make sure that I could scale essentially, right? Having the right people doing the right sort of work. So once the 3 months was sort of in place because of focus on foundation, the next 3 months became really simpler, or relatively simpler, if we can call it that. And of course travel has also recovered much better in the last 3 months. So I think, yeah, it's been great being back, and like I said, it's exactly what I expected.
Super. So let's spice this up a little bit now. It's getting serious. And let's do a rapid fire round. Short questions, 1 or 2 word answers. Ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. Define go-mmt work culture in 1 word.
Action-packed.
Okay. 1 improvement in MMT working style you've seen in your round 2 here.
Collaboration for sure. I think the cross-functional collaboration is way better than what I experienced 4.5 years back.
That's lovely to hear, Kaveri. Your work spouse.
My green tea.
That's mine. Superb. Your work parent.
Sajanya.
I knew that was coming.
Absolutely. I think I pretty much call him 5 times a day to complain about something or the other.
Fair. Friday evenings in go-mmt always begin with.
We really hope there is no customer escalation on our parts of the business. Rather, there is no customer escalation.
That's so true. That's something we all pray for. Every Friday evening, 7 o'clock onwards.
Yes.
Work-life balance in MMT is?
I would say it's good. I think we have alluded to it multiple times. I'll put it out there. We are a fast-paced organization, and I think there is extreme amount of focus on execution and driving business KPIs and metrics. As long as we are doing that, I think nobody really questions us on the flexibility that we need. In fact, the organization has gone out of their way to make sure that people are getting to spend time with their loved ones, especially during the pandemic, when obviously you need to take care of your family and put other things as priority. I think that's something that we have done a good job of in terms of flexibility. But at the same time, people also respect that flexibility, and they make sure that the work that needs to be delivered is delivered on time. So I would say it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, and at the same time, you get the flexibility to do what's important to you.
That was a great answer, although not a one-word answer, but a great answer, Kaveri, that covered entirely the culture, gave a glimpse of the culture of, summed up the culture of go-mmt. So that was lovely. On that note, we've come to the end of this episode. Any last words of wisdom for our colleagues?
No, I think if you're looking to return to make my trip, you have experience that this is a great place to work, and I think we'll love to have people back.
Lovely. Like they say, the best journey always leads us home, which is why I guess you're back in here. And now that you're here, here's wishing you all the very best with go-mmt again. See you people. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.